The long-awaited Fashionably Late Die of Death update has been out for a while now, and with it came brand new civilian abilities and synergies, as well as reworks to every already existing ability. I went over the update in general in another video, and in this one I'm gonna be going in depth about the abilities and rank them based on how useful they are in a tier list from worst to best. We'll start in C tier. There's no D or F tier because there aren't really any absolutely terrible abilities in the game anymore. So in C tier, in last place is Cloak. It got reworked to only let you stay invisible for 5 seconds rather than around 10 seconds like before, and you can also no longer sprint while cloaked. However, your walk speed is increased while cloaked. You can still open Artful's walls using Cloak, giving it some supportive potential, but that's only for one killer. For every other killer, Cloak is an exclusively survivalist ability with no teamwork element to it. For survivability, it's decent but not great. It's still just there to stall for a couple seconds and usually doesn't put you at any significant advantage. The fact that it's the only ability in the game that doesn't let you support teammates, except for opening Artful's walls, and the fact it's pretty mid for survivability makes it the current worst ability in the game in my opinion. Next in C tier is the Noisemaker synergy, which has been especially infamous ever since the update came out for being regarded as the worst ability in the entire game. It's a synergy of Taunt and Bugle, and it makes Bugle apply resistance to those around you instead of reducing their ability cooldowns. You also have to do more minigames than regular Bugle and take extra damage when being hit by the killer while doing the minigames. The problem with this ability is that it's insanely punishable and you have to be close to the killer and whoever is being chased in order to get value out of the resistance you're giving. Now, I don't actually think this is terrible because it forces the killer to either switch targets to you or keep chasing their initial target while they also have resistance. Making the killer go out of their way to punish you can give whoever they were chasing some breathing room. Despite this, it's still a very weak ability and miles worse compared to the actual Bugle, as we'll see later. The final ability in C tier is Block. It remains mostly the same as before, but it did receive some changes. First off, it got slightly nerfed because you can no longer block things like bleed damage or Harken's agitation at a range. But a very notable change regarding not just block but the entire game is that hit priority exists now, instead of every killer's M1 being AoE like before. This means you can body block for other civilians using block. Block users also have natural hit priority over other civilians, meaning you can soak up damage for others and use your ability to heal some of it back. It's still a pretty survivalist-centered ability, but it got reworked to be a lot more selfless. It's still pretty baitable by the killer and not as strong as some other abilities though. Moving on to B tier, in last place is Flashlight. Flashlight is a new ability added in the update. With it, you shine a cone-shaped light that slowly gets smaller at the killer, and they get slowed down while you do this. If you shine the light on them for long enough, you get healed for 10 HP and they will get dazed for a while, which makes them be stunned for longer upon getting stunned. It's good for supporting other civilians in chases, since you yourself are pretty vulnerable while using it. The initial slowness that the light applies is decent, and the dazed effect forces the killer to be extra careful when looking out for stuns. However, it does have pretty low reward for something that makes you very vulnerable. Next in B tier is Banana Peel. Banana Peel hasn't changed at all, except the peel is slightly bigger now, and it's still a very solid ability that forces the killer to either path around a peel, if possible, or face a ragdoll that gives the target distance. Nothing really notable to say about this one. Moving on to Adrenaline, which received a huge glow up. Adrenaline used to easily be the worst ability in the game, actively sabotaging you at times, but it has been changed to become a very solid and viable ability. The end lag after using it has been greatly reduced, and your stamina recovery is only stopped during your end lag instead of both during your end lag and a couple seconds after, making it so much less punishing. But most importantly, you will now give a speed boost to any civilian close to you while you run with Adrenaline. The speed boost isn't that powerful, so it's not comparable to something like the killer being stunned, but you can give any teammate an on-command speed boost with no downsides, which is obviously really powerful. At the very top of B tier, we have Pi. Pi is a ranged support ability that slows down the killer and covers up their UI. It's good for supporting other civilians in chases, but not very useful for defending yourself, similarly to Flashlight. It doesn't have much effect, but it's very easy to land as it has a large hitbox, and it's very spammable, making it really annoying to deal with for the killer if the ability is being stacked among multiple civilians, since they're gonna be slowed down the entire time while chasing anyone. In A tier, we have Love Shot, which is a synergy of Caretaker and Revolver. It makes Revolver behave slightly differently, as now you shoot 3 bullets consecutively with each bullet slowing down the killer and locking their abilities instead of outright stunning them. Landing a shot will also heal everyone, including yourself, in a small radius around you for 7 HP. This means if you land all 3 shots, you can heal 21 HP to yourself and everyone around you. It's overall harder to get the most use out of since now you have to land 3 shots and they don't fully stun anymore. The heal around you is also very situational since most of the time you won't have people huddled around you so they can be healed. Still a very good ability for survivability and support though. Next in A tier is Bonus Pad. Bonus Pad used to be the most overpowered ability in the game, essentially making any civilian untouchable for 40 seconds.
He's the devil.
It has been nerfed severely, and now, instead of disappearing after a timer, it can be broken by the killer. The ability is still great, I mean, it's literally still free speed in a chase, but now it'll likely get broken after someone steps on it while running from the killer, making it a lot more balanced. Moving on, still in A tier, we have Sweet Tooth, which is a synergy of Pie and Hot Dog. It makes Hot Dog behave differently by having it heal 30 HP instead of 15, but also having it decrease your max HP by 6 every use. Your hurt box and collision hitbox will also still increase by a little bit, like normal Hot Dog. Being able to heal 30 HP at once is insane. If you find an opportunity to use it in a chase, you can just tank 2 more hits. The 6 max HP penalty per use makes it slightly worse long term and makes it pretty bad if there are caretakers on your team, but 6 HP really doesn't matter that much. And right above Sweet Tooth, I placed regular old Hot Dog, which received a great boost in viability because now instead of reducing your max stamina, it will now increase your hurt box and collision hitbox. But the thing is, it increases by such a little bit that it will almost never make a difference. The ability also now has a longer cooldown and takes longer to eat though. It's slightly better than Sweet Tooth because it doesn't have a max HP penalty and it's overall great now. Oh, and it's good for body blocking for others since hit priority exists now and you can also sandbag with it due to it increasing your hitbox. Care Pad is our next ability in high A tier. It's a synergy of Caretaker and Bonus Pad, and it now lets you place down a pad that will heal civilians at 1 HP per second instead of speeding them up. The healing got a significant nerf as it used to be 2 HP per second, and like new Bonus Pad, it no longer decays after a timer and can only be destroyed if the killer breaks it, which can be both a good or a bad thing. The heal only being 1 HP per second bumps it down to A tier, but it's still a great ability. The last ability in A tier is Reroll. Reroll lets you get a one-time use of any other ability in the game after a short animation. Which ability you'll get is complete RNG, which is a large downside, but the fact that you can have access to every single ability in the game is insane. Most abilities in the game are decent to good, meaning you'll rarely ever get a miss. Moving on to S tier, which in my opinion are the absolute best abilities in the game. Our first ability is Dash. Dash used to be a purely survivalist ability, letting you dash forward while costing some stamina and overall being really mid. But now, you can dash into the killer to deal considerable knockback, and it has no wind up or anything, meaning the killer can't react to it like they could with Punch or Pie for example. It's an unreactable tool that you can use to create free distance for yourself or your teammates. Our second S tier ability is surprisingly Revolver. Revolver lets you shoot out a bullet which stuns for 2 seconds, with the ability needing to be reloaded before being usable again. Revolver has always been a really good stun ability for supporting others in chases, however it had one blaring issue. Thankfully, that issue is gone, making Revolver a very viable and fantastic stun for disrupting chases. Next is Punch, a basic melee stun that can stun for 3 seconds after a little bit of wind up. Punch has consistently been a fantastic ability throughout the game's entire history, and it's still one of the best. One thing that makes Punch really strong is that its hitbox is way longer than it should be, extending several studs beyond the killer's M1 range, which makes it really hard to react to and dodge, and they still haven't shortened it in the Fashionably late update, so it's keeping its place. We're at the top 3. At number 3 is Taunt. Taunt has received a massive glow up, going from one of the worst abilities in the game to the best chase disruptor. After some wind up, you release large hitboxes outward that will ragdoll the killer. They will be sped up, you will be marked to them, and if they hit you within a time frame, you'll take extra damage and be ragdolled. However, if they don't hit you, they will get slowed down. This is literally forcing the killer to target you instead of whoever they were chasing, or else their chase gets messed up by the slowness, which is really overtuned. The spot of second best ability goes to Caretaker. It works the same as before, letting you heal 20 HP to any civilian, even multiple at a time, on a low cooldown. Its HP debuff has been reduced from 25 to 20, and caretaker stacking received a small nerf, as caretakers receiving heals from other caretakers will be healed slower. This only really affects mid-chase heals though. Caretaker is still the cornerstone of a civilian team. Without caretakers, all damage will be permanent, and the mere presence of multiple caretakers on a team will apply pressure on the killer to stay on one target, as leaving them alone will let them run off and get healed, undoing the killer's progress. But as we saw with the other abilities, staying on one target isn't exactly gonna be easy. And the number 1 title of best ability in the game goes to a newcomer, Bugle. Bugle lets you do a minigame where you press the correct keys, and depending on how well you did, the ability cooldowns of everyone around you will go by quicker, up to twice as fast if you do the minigame perfectly. In a game where civilian abilities are really strong, especially chase disruption abilities, and the killer has to take opportunities while they are on cooldown, being able to easily reduce cooldowns by a ton is really strong. Abilities like Caretaker, Taunt, and Punch have important cooldowns to make them fair for the killer, and Bugle just nullifies that. So yeah, this is the ability tier list based on my opinion. Thank you for watching and see you next time.